Is there anyone who inspired you to become a principal?
Yes, it is somebody who inspired me to become a principal. It was my fourth grade teacher, Mr. Harley, who happened to also be my neighbor. He lived two houses down from me, and he graduated from high school with my mom. So he inspired me to become an educator because originally I wanted to be a physical therapist um, because my mom had an illness that restricted her movements, and so I wanted to try and get into that field. But the more I look back at it, the more I wanted to become a teacher, and I realized what a great influence he had on me because even though I'm nice and calm and try and stay level-headed now, when I was in school, that wasn't necessarily always the case. And then I remember one time when he had to come over and talk to me because I was not behaving the way I was supposed to be, and kind of got me in line. And I just saw the effect that he had on my life, and I felt like that would be something good if I could give that back to other kids, that they could have a stable kind of role model to keep them straight.
Yay. Okay. What is your favorite part of being a principal?
My favorite part of being a principal is probably being able to go all over the campus and then be able to actually be in charge of the learning of our students, to know that I can provide a great environment with lots of diverse like literature and electives and different things that kids can engage in to make learning fun, because you guys have so much more as far as when it goes to coming to school that you guys can have access to assist you in learning. Because I often kind of make some of you guys laugh with going through, because I think like with computers, I don't think I really got to use computers a lot until maybe I got to college. We had typewriters and kind of word processors, which is stuff that you just kind of type stuff on, but we didn't have actual computers where you can like get on and search and do the internet and all those things with it. I didn't get a chance to really access that until I got to college. So there's so much more out there, but the best part about it is being able to affect the environment, the learning offerings, and also just to foster a culture or climate at the school that can allow kids to learn and express themselves and not just be all cut up, caught in one box and everybody have to be the same way.
Okay. Is there any hardships or problems you had to overcome in order to be a principal?
Oh, yeah, it's really tough to become a principal. So yeah, you have to first and foremost, you have to at least teach for 5.5 or 6 years. I think they might even have it now where you have to teach for about 7 years now. So you have to teach and you have to get good evaluations, and then eventually, majority of the time, you have to obtain a dean's position. And in a dean's role, you primarily handle supervision, transportation, you do work orders, and then you handle lots and lots and lots of discipline referrals. So you're dealing with, angry parents for the most part, and then most of the time, angry students. So it's you have to go in and you have to work on it, and then you have to fill out do your resume, and then you have to submit it for the jobs that you're looking for. And whenever you're trying to get a job, they have specific areas that they're looking for their school. Like they want to know if you're a strength in helping teachers to grow and become better educational leaders, or they want to see how much you've interacted with data in order for it to help the school move forward. Or they might talk about something, whereas they're looking for something from a cultural perspective, is how much community involvement activities have you done with an experience. So each job has about 5 or 6 areas that the principal outlines and focuses on. And then you're applying with those, like everybody in Polk County is applying for those jobs, and then people that are also outside of Polk County. So it's very difficult for you to get an assistant principal position and then a principal's position. And of course, you have to be assistant principal first prior to becoming a principal. And so it's a lot of tough stuff that you have to overcome and that you have to look at, but it's very difficult. And just kind of stay focused and continue to stay positive about it, because I know that it did try and apply for quite a few dean's positions to get into administration. It was very difficult. And then eventually I got one at George Jenkins High School. And I was only there for a year, and then I became the assistant principal at Lawton Childs Middle Academy in Lakeland for about 5.5 years. And then I came here to Jewett School of the Arts.
That's hard work.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of years going into it. So, but time flies by really fast because I can remember when I first started teaching, and so it's just like seems like it was just yesterday.
Do you wish to have any other job?
The only other job that I would rather have than being a principal would be able to work on like a sports broadcasting network, like ESPN or Fox Sports or something along those lines. So besides that job, I think this is my dream job. I really love coming to work every day. I really enjoy it. I don't even see it as work, really. I say when you find something you're really passionate and you love, it's not really considered to be work. I really just enjoy seeing all the different students from the VPK students all the way up to our eighth graders, and just being able to help them and help to guide them and play a small part in their life and moving forward, and hopefully they become successful. And by successful, I mean, positive, contributing to society citizens. It doesn't matter if they go off and get degrees or go to the military, if they're a lawyer or if they're working for the city or if they're, cutting grass or being a barber or salon stylist, radiologist, it doesn't really matter. I just want them to be productive citizens. And that really makes me feel good whenever I run into a lot of my older students now. And I still remember their names, which they're always kind of surprised by that. But then just to see them being productive citizens, that's the biggest thing that gets to kick out of it for me. So dream job other than this would be to be on ESPN. Um,
Okay. What do you dislike about being a principal?
what I dislike about being a principal, um, you have a lot of initiatives and a lot of different things that are out of your control because you know what's best for your students, you know what's best for your staff. But oftentimes we have different laws and different mandates that come into play that are often unfunded mandates. So they're saying that you have to do all these spectacular or very difficult things, and they're very rarely funded. So that's one of the things that kind of it makes it kind of difficult for you because you may have a plan of what you're thinking you're going to focus in on when you start each of the school years or things that you're going to work on, and then it can be changed by something that happens as far as a law or an executive order that comes out of Tallahassee. Like our learning setup, for example, they say, okay, here it is, or you're going to go and school's going to be this way, and it may have a different rotating schedule when we talk about like the COVID, and then it's when it just said, okay, everybody's out of school. And then they said, then you're back to school, and you can only do one or the other. And then, eventually it, may switch again. But it's a lot of different mandates that come into play, and even talking about like testing with you all and doing those progress monitoring. So you guys take a lot of assessments throughout the year. And I know that it becomes, fatigue because you're like, oh man, I got to log into this thing and take another test on another subject area. And it's like, well, why am I taking this? And then sometimes students don't take it very seriously. So it kind of puts you at a disadvantage. So different things like that. So it's just a lot of mandates that come into play that don't have the financial support as far as expanding your staff to allow you to properly implement those items. That makes it difficult as a principal. And then, as far as, a lot of the activities with it, there's always something going on with COVID. We can't do anything now, but we have lots of concerts and sports and different things of that nature. So having to be everywhere all the time is another one of the drawbacks, along with all of the mandates that we have to implement, oftentimes without staff to support it or extra people, bodies to help you with it.
Okay. Any funny memories from when you were a kid?
Oh, I have all kinds of funny memories. For school wise or just in general being a kid?
Like school wise?
School wise? Um, yeah, I remember I used to love field day that we used to have in elementary school. Was always a lot of fun. And I won some first place trophies, and other times I come in like second place to some of my friends. We do like the 100-yard dash. And then I remember when we were in PE, we used to be able to do this game where we'd have like a big parachute and we'd like pop up a bunch of plastic balls on it. So it was like a real army parachute. And then you'd be able to pop it up and then you do up and then you get underneath it and then you pull it
Oh,
down.
I
So it was
did
like,
before.
so it was covered over your head. So that was one of my favorite things that I liked in elementary school. In middle school, I really enjoyed playing basketball, but we couldn't like play the other schools because they had stopped the extramurals like we have now. So we had like a game in front of the school where the crowd was all there, and I remember having fun with that. And I got like a breakaway layup, and I was going to shoot the ball, and I pushed the ball like underneath the backboard. So that was kind of funny to me. It was embarrassing, like in front of the whole school, but that was something that I remember. And in high school, I definitely remember because I played basketball, so that was a lot of fun. We were like the first team to win the district championship for our school in like 17 years since my oldest brother, when he was in high school, which he was like, 12 or 13 years older than me, but he was the last person to win a championship. So that was fun to do that as far as school's concerned. So I love school. So I would tell people all the time, I love school. I love school when I was in grade school, in middle school, in high school. I loved it in college. And I wanted to try and enjoy it as much as possible because oftentimes, kids are so often where they want to rush off and become adults. And I was like, no, I know what's waiting on me. You got to get up and go to work every day. You have to pay your bills. You have responsibilities. So I said I wanted to be in school as long as I could and enjoy this because I know, what the real
No.
had for you.
Okay. This is Mr. Dale's recommendation. He said, do you know how to freestyle rap still?
For me?
Do I know how to freestyle rap still?
Oh, you talking?
Yes, I do, but I won't be rapping on camera with having that. 'Cause I knew he was gonna try and pull that out. But yeah, that was my when I went to college and pledged a fraternity. That was my line name with it because I used to freestyle rap. So, but I won't be freestyling today. I know Mr. Dill's always trying to pull it in. He's always trying to get me out of my comfort zone. We're going through, but that's not no. I'll maybe do that for a principal's corner. Maybe I'll do that going into the Thanksgiving break or the Friday show or going to Christmas break. I'll do a freestyle.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Okay, that's all the questions I have.
That's all you have?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Janaya. You did a great job today. Really enjoyed the interview, and I hope the kids enjoy it, and hopefully they want to become a principal. I don't recommend it because a lot of people are always like, I don't have patience for kids and doing those things, and that's one of the things, like, you'll never know where you end up because when I was growing up, I would always say, I had lots of nieces and nephews, and so I would be mean to them. So I was the mean uncle, as they say with it. But when I look back on all of my jobs, they were all dealing with kids because I worked for the city and I did the summer recreation program. I was a lifeguard. When I was in college, I worked at a juvenile detention center. And so when I look back at it, all of my jobs that I had, the majority of them, like 90% of the time, it was something working with kids. And I did enjoy working with them, even though I would say, don't like the little kids or whatever the case may be. But so you never know where you're going to end up because I never thought I'd end up with a job with working with students every day, but I love it. So,
Yay.
all right.
That was fun.